Hi, I'm Steve Brooks, and this is the new UD PW 24280. The 24 stands for 24 tonne gross vehicle weight, or thereabouts, and the 280 horsepower. I drove this truck a few weeks ago at the official launch at Mount Cotton, and it did not fail to impress. It actually impressed enough that I asked UD could I go for another run in it. So here we are at the BP at West Toowoomba. We've had a run up the range and through the western suburbs of Brisbane, and I've got to say it's done everything right. I like the spec of this truck. It's a round town metropolitan specialist, can still do little country runs such as this. And the fact that it's only available with an automatic Allison transmission, I think is a real asset for this particular truck in the target applications for it. I'm here with UD's Mark Stramby, and to be quite honest, there's a lot of excitement within UD about this truck. With the truck itself, there seems to be a lot of changes you mentioned at the launch regarding Japan's willingness to design to Australian needs. Is that a fact, or is it just more marketing rhetoric?
No, it's a fact actually. This is a perfect example of what they're prepared to do for us. So we did a lot of the design work here in Australia through GTT, the group technology section, and then we gave the design to Japan. They then looked at what components were available and put it together for us. Yeah. And from inception to actually on the road was 16 months. From production authority start to finished was 12 months. And that's not bad.
So Japan's actually listening, you feel?
Absolutely. In fact, in March next year, we have some more engineers coming out to talk about future product. I'm not talking about that middle of next year.
What about future product? Is there an 8-wheeler somewhere in this UD future?
Can I say I've put it on my Santa wish list?
What about the heavy end? What about the prime mover market? Is there more development happening there?
Absolutely, and we previewed a vehicle at the Tokyo Motor Show last year, and at the Brisbane Truck Show next year, we're certainly ready to unveil it.
Is that a redevelopment of the Quan?
It certainly is. It's more group technology in the Quan, okay. And again, it's an expansion of the range and gives us markets that we aren't in at the moment.
This is seriously a nice truck to drive. It's super smooth with the Allison in it. And as you go along through the day and you get back into a bit of traffic, you just realise how much easier it is and you don't have to change gear. I don't mind changing gear, but at the end of the day, it just makes the job in metropolitan workloads so much easier. It would have to be a benefit for fatigue, I think. UD needed a truck like this PW. It fits nicely into their range at the moment. And it seems to me their aspirations, as Mark Stramby said, are to expand into the heavy duty sector, admittedly at the light end of heavy duty. And if that's their case, I think this is a truck that fits the bill really well. Well, this is the heart of the matter. This is the GH7 7-litre engine. It's the same engine that UD uses in all its rigid models, the MK, the PK, the PD62, and now the PW64. It's a really responsive engine at 7 litres. It gets up and grunts quickly and responds to throttle pressure really well. At 24 tonne though, and at 280 horsepower, it's not overpowered, nor is it underpowered. But if UD was to go up in the weight range a little bit, they'd need more than this engine, I believe. But right where it is now, it's fuel efficient, it's responsive, so there's probably a lot to like. Obviously daily checks are important, particularly in metro trucks. So this one's well laid out. You've got the dipstick just behind the cab on the passenger side, power steering fluid just behind it. You've got engine coolant, windscreen washer, no excuses for not checking anything. No, it's all good. And it's a nice truck to steer. Steering's really nice and light, yet it's not so flimsy that it feels like it's lost all direction. The cab's been around a fair while now, but that's not to say it's not worthwhile. It's a really, really practical cab, like all the Japanese really, but this one's just got a nice feel about it. Quiet, plenty of room in it. If you needed to, you could climb behind the seats and catch 40 winks. I wouldn't like to be spending every night in it, but certainly for just getting a cat nap, it's probably ideal. It was really interesting driving this sort of truck up Toowoomba Range. I went into power mode, which I think probably suited it best, to stop it jumping up and down through the different gears. But generally it settled into second gear, between 1800 and 2200 revs. I half expected it to do it in third, but probably a bit of a call. We're grossing about 18 tonnes with this machine on the back, but it held pretty much around 30 k's an hour all the way up the range, so I can't consider that a bad effort at all. Still a big climb coming up into Toowoomba. One thing that really impresses me about these modern day automatic, particularly the Allison, is the way it works in with the exhaust brake. As soon as it reads you're going down a hill and you pull the engine brake or the exhaust brake on, it just automatically pulls down a gear, and it just gives you revs so much more retardation. And yeah, it's a nice thing, it really is. Well, here we are back at UD at Waco. This has been a good exercise. I expected the truck to do well, and it has done well. They've kept the specs simple for around town metro work. It's done the job really, really well. Fuel economy, according to what I'm reading so far, it's just a tad under 3 kilometres per litre, which I think is a great return for a truck that's only got 3,000 kilometres under its belt, and it's pulling 18 tonne all up. So yeah, I think it's done a really good job. And I think for its target applications, UD has really hit the nail with this one, and they've done the job well. It's a good thing.